Attorneys, what's the problem with voir dire?
And welcome back to Training for Trial with Robert Graff of GraffStandard.com and the founder of Training for Trial. Rob, what is the problem with voir dire? What are we talking about in this episode? This is part one of our four-part series about overcoming people's discomfort with the voir dire process. But what's today's episode about?
Well, today is figuring out why so many attorneys that I talk to on a regular basis hate voir dire. Each of us can have a different reason why, but it's about figuring out what that reason is and taking the first steps towards overcoming it.
Excellent. Well, that sounds incredibly important and relevant, obviously, to anyone who's got to set foot in this courtroom process. But let's give people a quick 3-bullet-point overview so that they have a sense of where we're going, and then we'll dive into those.
All right. It's recognizing what the issue is. It's recognizing why this is an issue in the first place, and choosing the path you want to take to solving the issue.
All right, great. Well, let's roll up our sleeves and dive right in there. So what is the problem, Rob, recognizing what the issue is? What is the problem with this whole voir dire process for so many attorneys that you deal with?
It ranges, and that's really the thing. There's so many people that either hate it as the worst part of the entire process, whether it's having to think very quickly on your feet, having to keep everything organized, being in front of people. Essentially, you're in front of a group of between 30 and 50, 60 people that you either have to like or hate, or they have to hate you or like you, and you're placed in a very vulnerable position. So it's about really figuring out why you are struggling with this. What is your biggest issue? And there might be more than one issue, but let's start with one. Let's start with the biggest one and work our way to figuring out what that issue is and going from there.
Okay, so recognition clearly is a key step to changing anything, and we've talked before, and I've talked endlessly with people about the fact that avoidance of a problem is probably the worst thing you can do, because all you do is keep yourself trapped in it. So it's probably not going to get better the next time you're in this situation if you don't at least recognize that there is a problem, and then, as you're saying here in the first step here, making sure that you start to then try to uncover, why do I have a problem? What is making me uncomfortable about this whole scenario?
And that's something that I found very interesting with this voir dire process. It doesn't get easier over time for people. People that hate it to begin with continue to hate it. It's not something where you say, well, I've been working on openings, or I'm getting better at them, or getting better at direct or cross-examination. People just do not like the jury selection process to begin with, and it never gets easier. Maybe because it's a different set of jurors each time, it's a different judge, it's a different procedure per judge. Whatever it is, it's not something that people tend to like more the more they do it. Okay.
Do you have a theory here? Or
I think that, yeah. My theory is that